How's it going, everybody? This is the Uncanny Omar from Near Mint Condition, the home of collected editions, and I'm here talking to one of my favorite artists, Hayden Sherman. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing okay. So, I fell in love with your art in the pages of Wasted Space. How long have you been drawing?
Professionally, about 7, 8 years, and drawing as a whole, probably since I could hold anything.
Okay, so then I have to ask the question that I'm sure you get asked a lot. What led you down the path of drawing, and why specifically comics? Or was it comics that even?
It was probably comics first and then drawing after. Batman is the big thing. I mean, for me, this is, I feel like, apocryphal to many people, but I think I grew up late 90s-ish, so I was a kid for Batman Forever, Batman and Robin, which was my gateway to, like, comics.
The movies.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, this conversation is over. I'm sorry.
Oh, man.
I'm kidding.
I will fight to the death for those films. I wouldn't be here without them. But anyways, so yeah, it's like things like that. Growing up on Batman the animated series, and then just like, oh, comics. There's more. And then just continuing to want to draw and make, and then finding other things. My dad was a huge sci-fi nut, so exposing me to all manner of science fiction. And of course, Wasted Space is, in many ways, a love letter to sci-fi on top of being just like its own wonderful ride.
Yeah, there were so many things that attracted me to your artwork, and there's this awesome like heavy metal European flair to it that I just love. And of course, and I have to throw this in there too because we just lost Keith Giffen just a couple of days ago, as of this video, and there's some of that in there too from like the Legion of Superheroes. And I didn't know, like, so when you saw the script, or how did this even come about?
Oh, Wasted Space?
Yeah.
I think I was just talking with David about this a second ago. I had just graduated, and then I was looking for another comic job. I needed something more to draw. I just finished up John Carter, The End with Dynamite. Yeah. And Mike and Adrian reached out to me. Like, they have this book called Wasted Space. A prophet gets everything wrong and has to fix up everything he screwed up. And I was, all right, sounds interesting. But yeah, like what I've never heard of. Like, this vault was new at that point. This was all very fresh. And they sent me the script, and I felt madly in love. The first issue is the most exceptional sales pitch for that entire series. And then, as luck would have it, like, they turned out to be marvelous to work with, and it went on for 25 issues with 4 years of my life. Like, I couldn't have imagined that.
I'm so glad that it's one of their first big collected editions too, because I think your art really deserves to be in that oversized format. It's wonderful. I don't know if you hear that enough or not.
I don't know. I'm glad to see it that big.
And okay, so you said graduated, so you seem really young. So it's still like you're evolving too, because even within the book, like your first issue compared to the final issues, like your art has evolved and it just looks so different. So do you take inspiration from like movies, television, as well as comics?
Oh yeah, a little bit of everything. I think especially by the time I hit the halfway point on Wasted Space, I was taking a lot more inspiration from the likes of Cam Kennedy and Philippe Drouillet, 70s French, heavy metal type stuff, because they have such a phenomenal sense of like layout structure, creating a page that is just a beautiful object in itself, but then can be understood as a breakdown of a moment in time, as a scene, and like clearly read. And I've been wanting to pursue that in my work and like find a way to make that work and be both the sort of psychedelic thing that they have done, but also be this like, I don't know, bridging a gap in a way to make it accessible. I don't know.
Well, when you say Drouillet, yeah, I can totally see that now, especially towards the end of the book, where the story goes, right? Without spoilers. So what is it that you're working on these days? If you don't have to go into specifics, but where can people find your work?
Right now, the most recent thing is Dark Spaces Dungeon will be releasing, I believe it's October 25th. So that's the follow-up from Scott Snyder and myself. We did Dark Spaces Wildfire last year, and then, so whole different story, whole different set of characters and everything, but a creepy thriller about kidnapping, and it's creepy. Scott outdid himself. So doing that, I've got a thing with Dark Horse that will be coming out sometime next year, but no announcements yet. And doing more work with DC, which forthcoming announcements on that as well. But yeah.
It's come full circle. Is it Batman Forever?
I mean, there's some Gotham up in there, yeah.
Oh, awesome. See,
Yeah.
that's what I like to see.
Yeah,
Somebody
yeah.
that was inspired. Now, is there a specific, I always like to ask artists this question. Is there a specific issue or a comic panel or like a graphic novel that you saw as a kid that you're like, that's what I want to do?
Oh man, probably top two that come to mind: Batman Year 100, Paul
Oh,
Pope.
Paul Pope, yeah.
Yeah, just I don't know. I found that somehow completely miraculously, and it blew me away. And I was like, I don't know, 10. And I had a copy of Death of Superman, and that book is immaculately drawn. Like for
Jurgens and
yeah.
yeah, all those
Yeah,
guys.
that one, and like particularly within that whole run, the final issue, which is just a series of splash pages,
Yes.
which is just killer. And then issue 500, which I think is drawn by Jerry Ordway, if I'm remembering correctly, which similarly has some of the most wild visuals my little mind had ever seen at that point, and it sticks with me to this day.
So those are great choices. Hayden, thank you so much for your time. It's a pleasure to finally get to meet you and boast about how much I really love that series. So I'm glad you're still doing things, and I'm going to see you in Batman one day.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you all for watching.